Trend line parallels. Now, another thing you can do by using a trend line is by first drawing your trend line as the established trend is drawn out, and then getting a parallel line of this and drawing it in the bottom of the range. We call this a return line. Return line because after hitting the trend line, it returns closer to it. Again, the same thing here, it comes closer to it. Now, the reason we will draw a price channel is so that you can get a good semblance of the orderliness of how prices are moving. It's moving within a set range. And so if you guys are buying and selling this, and you're selling this, trying to buy back on the low, you should only be doing it maybe when it's rebounding off a return line. And it is absolutely preferred that you do your buying only in an uptrending environment. Try to resist buying downward moving stocks because it can be very difficult to do this and to catch those lows. Let alone that if you try buying it here, sometimes the up moves might be very stunted and you can just see prices falling back down again. But in an upward moving environment, you can buy your trend line rebounds and you can cast and take some profits off your return line. This is the more appropriate way of using a return line. But the job of a return line is simply tell you where could the high band be. So you know that if you are going to take some profit, and let's say, for example, you have a position and you think this is going to climb, by the time it climbs back up, you'll be knowing to take a little bit of profit closer to where your return line will be. And this is the reason why we draw a price channel, to help you get a sense of where the range will be. So first, again, start with your trend line. So let's say in a case like this, draw out a parallel or return line in the opposite end of the trend line. So if I do this, copy this line, push it up to this upper area here, and then draw it out. And then you will have an uptrend line, which you will use as a return line on that resistance. And in a downtrend, you would have, of course, your return line placed on the lower end of the range. So these are good buy spots for you since it's a rebound of an uptrend and your uptrend line, and anywhere in this blue line is an area of support. These are not good areas to buy because they're closer to your return line or closer to your resistance line. If you're buying in the middle, it's half-baked. Yes, you might make a little money, but the risk is just equivalent as your potential reward activity. So it's really much better if you could buy this off a rebound of support. Selling or taking profits will happen into the upper boundary of the ranges that you look at. Okay, let's have a look at that. Here's an example of using a price channel. This is Ayala Corporation. We have a 2-year graph here, but let's look at the channel feature. You can click on this, and what it'll do now is it'll start drawing a trend line. But the minute you click it, it will allow you to draw the second parallel line, which builds a channel. And you can move it around to adjust if you wish. And here you'll be able to see where your support resistance areas are quite automatically. And it's proving helpful for us as a guide. After that, prices ruptured and they become much more accelerating on the way down. So we'll do the same thing again. So now we also have a price channel heading downwards. So again, you can see where the high and low bands will be. And let's look at this now on the lower band. After this big plummet in price comes in, let's see what we can do if we can draw one more channel here. Let's make it wider so you can see it. And let's cut from here to here and draw the upper boundary. And there you have it. So this was just happening earlier on today. And so if you notice in the price chart of Ayala Corporation, after it made its first rebound, we drew this line up there. It seemed to be following the level of support. So these are good areas to buy, good areas to buy. And now we see prices all the way back up to the upper boundary here. Up here, this is not a good area to buy the stock anymore. In fact, if I had bought this here, I'd be looking to take some profits gradually into this move already. Like I said, when you're taking profits into an uptrending environment, then you want to do this gradually. You don't have to sell everything. And so you can keep yourself intact. And as long as this uptrend line is intact, you don't have to sell everything else. So if you want, sell 20, 30, or 50% of your position. And if it happens to fall back down here and rebound again, you can buy your position back. And that's how you can take advantage of a price channel.